If the debates, political reports, and social media posts surrounding the impending election make your skin crawl, your heart race, or your stomach churn, you might be suffering from what they're calling election stress disorder. Here to break down the validity of this reality many are experiencing is licensed clinical psychologist, author, and professor of psychology, Dr. Ramani Durvasula. What exactly is election stress disorder?
This is something very real that we're seeing. I mean, while election stress disorder doesn't really exist in any diagnostic manual, I would say it probably falls under the purview of what we'd call like an adjustment disorder. And this is where somebody may experience a significant stressor and have all kinds of psychological issues related to that, particularly anxiety. I have to tell you, Dr. Ian, in my own sessions with my own clients, we'll sometimes spend 10 minutes at the beginning of a session talking about the stress, the anxiety, the irritability, and the confusion that the election is bringing up with them. And in addition, my expertise is in toxic relationships. And for people who've endured toxic relationships, just seeing some of these interactions, whether it's debates, whether it's really sort of toxic news stories, they're literally getting triggered and feeling even more anxious than they usually would being in a toxic relationship. So there's a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, and a lot of just generally being on edge.
What do you recommend that people do?
More than anything else, what we really want people to do is limit their consumption. And unlike, if it was food, we say we want you to stop binging on food. In this case, we want you to stop binging on news consumption. And we get news, it's 24/7. It's not only on television, it's on social media, it's on little pop-ups that show up on all of our devices. I often suggest to clients to literally go on a media diet. Like you really need to control that and have controlled times when you look at media, and at other times you've got to, I tell people, turn all those pop-up notifications off, because those constantly popping up day and night are the things that often put people on edge. You really have to be mindful about this. You have to say, I'm going to look at this, maybe 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, but then otherwise I've got to be plugged into my life. Or people are actually getting really disconnected from their own lives and living in anxiety over this uncertainty. And it's also really important that people take all of this anxiety and recognize you can't control the outcome of the election. You can put your one vote in, but beyond that, this one's out of your hands. And so I'm telling people, find the things you can control and engage in those stuff in your life, your family, your job, because if you focus all your time on something you can't control, it's really going to contribute to this sense of anxiety that's overwhelming everybody. And then on top of that, take action. If you don't like what's happening, find your way to be engaged. It might be volunteering on a campaign, volunteering on voting day or as we lead up to the election, or just find a way to volunteer in your community so you feel more that you're part of the solution rather than part of the problem, because I think that's where people feel overwhelmed. There's so much incivility, there's so much nastiness. So contribute to the kindness that's within your control.
I love that. Words to live by. Focus on things you can control, not the things that you can't control. Thank you so much for all this great
Thank you,
information
Dr.
today.
Ian.